All right, welcome to episode 5 of Double Play Tag Team. For those watching, this is going to be a WWE heavy show. We're talking about last night's Elimination Chamber special, and then later on we're going to get into a couple other things about NFL offseason and spring training maybe, and who knows what else.
Yep, so we're going to start off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. It started off really good. Naomi came out, and then Jade Cargill returned at the start of the match. And Liv Morgan was facing Naomi on the first two, and Jade Cargill came out and went to the ring, and everybody thought Liv Morgan, because even Liv Morgan looked like she was going to get, brutally attacked. But then Jade Cargill, pretends to punch Liv Morgan, but then she, takes and punches Naomi, and, everybody was so confused and stuff.
They were confused, and boy, did she really lay into her, huh?
Yeah.
She tossed her all around that cage and gave her a good pump kick through the glass.
Yeah, slammed the door in her head.
Yeah, that was wild. So yeah, who knows? That the whole storyline of who attacked Jade and put her out of action. Everyone thought it was Liv and Raquel, and now it looks like maybe Naomi had something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe, because me personally, I don't believe it all. I don't believe it 100%, because I feel like it might have been someone else, but I don't know.
Maybe Naomi's getting set up or something.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, and then Bianca ended up winning it, so that situation's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Bianca versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight title should be a great match. I don't think those two have ever had a match. That's kind of a dream match for women's wrestling right there. Yeah,
two of the best women's wrestlers in the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even Roxanne Perez had a good show. She got the call up a little bit. I think she's still in NXT, but she's been getting the call up for all these matches at Raw.
Yeah, she'll probably be full-time main roster after WrestleMania.
Yeah, she'll probably get drafted to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, probably after she finishes this feud she's got going on with Bayley in NXT.
Mm-hmm. So, and then it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the Unsanctioned match. That was a great one.
That was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't even know there was barbed wired chairs in the ring.
I don't remember ever seeing them before in a match, so that was a first for me. But that was cool. They really pulled out all the stops, did a couple things that we haven't seen before. It's a couple callbacks to some matches they had against each other earlier in their careers before WWE, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and then Kevin Owens ended up winning it. It was just a bloody match and all that. It was a good match. And then Randy Orton comes out. Kevin Owens rolls back in the ring. Randy Orton comes and Kevin Owens tries to make a move and he RKO's him.
Not just once, right? How many times did he RKO?
I think it was once, and then he teased the punt kick.
Oh, right, that's right.
He was about to do it, but then the security guards came in and blocked it.
Yeah, maybe they're saving that for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I expect that's probably going to be a WrestleMania match, if you think about it.
WrestleMania is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good card, which it usually is.
Yeah. Because everybody was saying WrestleMania 40, which we were at, was going to be the best WrestleMania ever, but it's starting to creep up on me that WrestleMania 41 is going to be a really good WrestleMania too.
Yeah, well, they're always trying to outdo the last show, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yep, and then Men's Elimination Chamber.
A lot of talk about there, right?
Yeah, so final 3 was Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena. And Rollins got eliminated by Punk, I think it was. No, Punk gave him a GTS, and then Cena gave him an attitude adjustment, and then Cena pinned him, and then he went out. But then Cena went to make a move, and Punk was laying on the floor, and Rollins came out and gave him a stomp to knock him out, basically.
Out of nowhere. Yeah, and then he passed out from the STFU.
Yeah.
And Cena wins. There
Cody
was a lot.
Comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot in that match. McIntyre and Priest. Looks like that's another WrestleMania match brewing there with those two going at each other the way they did.
That's going to be a good, decent match too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Talk more about that match. What made you so excited about it? Because I know you were pretty excited.
Yeah, it was just it was so weird seeing because it was so it was slow to start and then it just all went. Logan Paul with the frog splash to Priest after he eliminates McIntyre right after, and then it's just Rollins, Cena, and Punk already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got down to those final 3 pretty quick. So Cena wins, and it looks like the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania is going to be Cena versus
Two baby
Cody Rhodes.
faces, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Cody Rhodes comes out, and then The Rock comes out with Travis Scott. So, and then they like go and they like The Rock's like, "Can I have your soul?" or whatever. And then Cody's like, "I've given this soul to like this ring and these people a long time ago." And he's like, "Rock, go F yourself." And then Cena's like all happy, and then he shakes his hand and he gives him a hug, and then they back off, and then Cena just punts him in the nuts.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That probably haven't seen something like that since Hogan turned in
The Rock went
went
like this, and just Cena like looked at him with the mean mug. He like just turned like from like smiles looking at The Rock to like, and like, yeah, and then
you could hear the whole crowd go,
yeah,
you know, before he kicked him when they saw The Rock give him the signal.
Yeah, and then they just laid a beat down on Cody. So
yeah, he was bleeding and everything, and got him with the weight belt, gave him a couple whippings. So it's interesting, right? We're in territory we haven't seen before with Cena, you know, at this level being a heel. Gonna be fun to see how WrestleMania goes.
Yeah, and then it's going to be the four main WrestleMania matches from the Elimination Chamber with the champions and the Royal Rumble with the champions. It's going to be darn good, like main event, like two nights main event and stuff. It's going to be Cena versus Rhodes, Jey Uso versus Gunther, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, and Rhea versus Bianca. So it's going to be a good WrestleMania for the main matches.
Yeah, and you're looking at, I mean, unless things change, you're looking at 4 straight up one-on-one title matches, which is cool, you know.
Yeah.
They should all be great matches. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it when we get closer to WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. There's rumors, too. Do you think the CM Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns is going to happen at WrestleMania? There's been a lot of rumors.
I mean, if you look at it looks like Rollins and Punk aren't done with each other after last night.
Rollins is like the main one, like connecting them, because Rollins is in a feud with CM Punk, and then Rollins has been in a feud with Roman Reigns.
And don't forget, according to the story, he put Roman out of action back at Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. So the Roman's obviously going to come back looking to get revenge on Rollins. How's that tie into what's going on? Who knows? That's part of the fun.
Yeah, that's part of the storyline too. Punk hasn't still got that favor from Heyman.
So what is that favor?
I don't know. It might be like maybe he helps out Punk or something. I don't know.
Maybe the favor gets him in the title match with Cena and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Like maybe this favor is like Roman's won in the title match, like to get in with Cena and Cody, and then like Paul Heyman just like comes in and says, "Oh, my favor to CM Punk was for him to get in the WrestleMania main event." So
who knows? Yeah, I mean that's the fun of watching, right? Not knowing what's going to happen. We could sit here and fantasize and guess all day, but at the end of the day, just watching the show and seeing what happens is the fun part.
Yeah, and I it's funny to see until like you have Raw with Cena and Rhodes, and then you have probably Cena and Rhodes on SmackDown too, and then you have Cargill and Naomi. Well, not Naomi, she'll probably be stretchered, but Cargill and Bianca on Friday.
Things are definitely heating up, and we still have like a whole month and a half until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So just trying to think of like how we could add to this over the next 6 weeks and make things even more exciting is pretty wild.
Going back to that Rhea versus Bianca, there's still chance that it could be Io Sky too. Like it showed once you won the Elimination Chamber, it said Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, because I think they have a match soon somewhere.
Oh, maybe on a Saturday night's main event coming up?
Yeah.
I may have missed that.
They're probably going to give Rhea it, though, because it's still Io Sky versus Bianca would be a good match, but Rhea versus Bianca would just be like way better from a fan standpoint.
Could be, yeah. Unless something happens where, you know, Liv or somebody costs Rhea the match. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Who knows what's in store, you know?
Yeah, do you have anything else on the Elimination Chamber?
No, just that, you know, it's always cool when you see something that you never thought you were going to see before with Cena turning. So
yeah,
I'm really interested to see what happens on SmackDown with all this and the fallout.
Yeah, we have Raw tomorrow, so see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the NFL. A lot of free agency going on.
Yeah, I mean, things are already picking up with some trades.
Yeah. So First, we're going to start with the Deebo Samuel traded to the Commanders.
Yeah, and CJ, we saw CJ Gardner-Johnson last night was already on, I think, TikTok Live, talking about how he's not afraid of the trade.
Yeah.
So he's already talking his trash. It seems like he never stops, which I love. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's a good move for the Commanders. They have a ton of cap space, so they were able to make that deal and eat the whole contract without, having to restructure his deal or anything like that. One more weapon for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So I want to see your prediction for the Commanders next season, where they're going since they got Deebo and they still have a whole offseason.
They made the wild card last year.
They made it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah. There's no reason to think that they're going to. I mean, do most teams repeat in the playoffs? No. But there's no reason to think that they're going to regress at all.
The teams that don't make the playoffs are usually like older teams, and then like one of their star players fall off. But Jaden Daniels is a really young second-year player at next season, and Terry McLaurin's only like 28, and Deebo I think might be 30 already. But
I haven't seen the Commanders' schedule, so I'm not, I can't say too confidently what I'd expect out of them. But I see no reason why they wouldn't be a playoff contender again.
Yeah. So, and then there's huge rumors going around with Myles Garrett.
I know, and it's making me both excited and nervous as an Eagles fan.
Yeah. So I want to know your opinion. What would the Eagles do if they got Myles Garrett? Like
dominate everybody on defense. Yeah. I mean, here's what my concern is: they have such a good young core. They were the youngest team in the NFL, youngest defense in the NFL, and the number one defense. And so, my concern is that they're going to give up one of those good young players to make the deal, and I'm not a huge fan of sacrificing long-term success for the immediate return on getting a couple years out of Myles Garrett. Whereas some of these young guys on defense, if someone you're going to trade away, you could potentially have them for another 3 years on a rookie deal and then sign them to an extension and have them even longer. So it's, I get it. If they could pull it off without giving up too much, I would be so excited to see what happens. I mean, you add him to a line with who they already have, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis,
him and Jalen
Nolan
Carter.
Smith. We still don't know if Brandon Graham's retiring for sure or not.
And if we could re-sign Sweat.
Yeah, you got Sweat. I mean, if they make the move for Garrett, I don't think giving Sweat a contract makes sense.
Yeah.
But you still got Jalix Hunt. And I think Milton's a free agent, so he could come back potentially.
I think we still have Bryce Huff, too, but he didn't have that great of a season.
Yeah, I mean, he's under contract, but he's got I wouldn't be surprised if he's off the team. Maybe he's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way to offload that contract, some of it at least, and move it to, the Browns.
Yeah, I saw this mock draft that the Eagles were going to trade away the 32nd pick from this year and then like a lot of future picks for Myles Garrett.
That's okay with me.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them giving up a bunch of picks for him. I'd hate to see them give up one of the good players they've got.
Would I have an idea? Trade away the 32nd, Bryce Huff, and maybe like a second-round pick?
I don't know if that's enough to get it done.
Yeah.
And
then maybe a couple future, yeah.
You probably might need 2 seconds or a first and a second. You're talking about possibly, arguably, the best defensive end in the league. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's scary to think of taking the number one defense and adding him to it.
And getting rid of nobody, except maybe we lose Milton Williams or Josh Sweat in the free agency. But Myles Garrett, I think, is an improvement from Josh Sweat by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sweat was a big difference maker in the Super Bowl, but I don't think anybody would argue with you that you're upgrading there.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I want to see. You could share your top 5 power rankings after right now, and I'll share it after you. And
like going in the next season?
Yeah, going in the next season.
Well, obviously Eagles have to be number 1. Number 2, looking at, I mean, I may have went with somebody like the Ravens ahead of the Chiefs going in the next season, but with Kelsey coming back, I'll put the Chiefs number 2.
Okay.
And then 3 through 5, just knowing what I know without anybody making any changes yet, I'm going to go Lions, Bills, and Commanders.
Not Ravens?
Nope.
All right. I'm going to go number 1, Eagles. Number 2, I think it's going to be the Lions. Number 3, Chiefs. Number 4, Bills or Ravens. It's a hard decision. And then number 5 is going to be Commanders.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think too much through that. I know, like, originally I was like, maybe I put the Ravens up there over the Chiefs at number 2, and then I even ended up not even having them in the top 5. But as I was sitting there thinking through it in my head, I see those other teams have more opportunity to get even better versus the Ravens. I don't know where the Ravens get better, or if they don't have to necessarily. But I think all those other teams that I put ahead of them in the power rankings have the opportunity to continue to get better between now and next season.
I'm probably going to put Bills at 4 instead of Bills or Ravens because the Bills are one of the favorites to get T. Higgins as their wide receiver number 1. So that would be a great addition for them.
It would be. It really would.
Because they re-signed Khalil Shakir, and then they might re-sign Amari Cooper. So if they get T. Higgins, that's going to be pretty good weapons for Josh Allen.
It would be, yeah.
The only question would be a little bit of their defense.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Bills to know what specifically they need to do on defense, but they've been running that division now for a couple of years, so no reason to think they're gonna not continue to do that.
Yeah, honestly, I think Tyreek Hill's not going to be in Miami next season.
I mean, you look at the things he said since the season ended, and he kind of walked back some of that and everything like that. But maybe he's someone that gets traded.
Yeah,
he could be a draft day trade.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors that he's going to go to the Chargers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chargers would be a contender for like a wild card divisional, like getting to the divisional spot. At least.
Yeah, I mean, if you put Tyreek Hill on that offense, there's no reason to think.
With Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins is one of the most underrated running backs in the league, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think he's, on an annual basis, he's always a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. Yeah, that'd be a great move for the Chargers if they could do it. Whether or not they will, who knows? That's the fun part about this time of the season, or the off season. Free agency starting soon, and then the draft coming up. The combine's already going on, so we'll see what happens. I think trades are starting to become more commonplace around draft time. Mm-hmm. So who knows? It's going to be a fun 6 weeks.
Yeah, I want to see your prediction on the Niners, too, because the Niners were not that good.
Well, I don't.
And they lost Debo, so.
I don't have a prediction yet. I'm not going to say too much about teams really until after I see what they do in free agency and the draft.
They've been talking about Brock Purdy's struggles signing. I just saw that. Like, they're trying to re-sign Brock Purdy.
Oh, like redo his deal?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Well, no, I think he's off his rookie contract. I think they only gave him like a 3-year,
extension
deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know anything about that.
He's only getting paid like $300K because he was because he was the last pick in the draft.
I thought he signed a new deal though after that first breakout year. I thought he signed a deal.
I don't think so. He might be making at least like $900K now, but.
Probably making more than that.
Yeah.
I'd look into that before you start saying stuff because I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What else you got on there about the NFL? Anything else?
Not really.
No? Okay. So that's the end of the show.
Yep.
First Sixers game last night. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, it was exciting because they had. I would wish that Jimmy Butler played for the Warriors. That would have made it like a good game, and like I like Jimmy Butler as a player, but.
Yeah. Would have been cool to see him play. I mean, it still was a good game, though.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, that was a fun fourth quarter to watch.
Yeah, you got to think about if Jimmy Butler played, the Sixers might have lost, so.
Yeah, but I mean, if one way or another, Oubre was hitting those threes last night, so.
Quentin Grimes, we only traded Caleb Martin for him. Caleb Martin was only averaging 7 points, and guess how many points he had last night? Did you see?
Grimes had 44?
44, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I meant about hitting the threes. He had 10 3-pointers last night.
Yeah, and he had that one on the buzzer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool.
That was. Yeah, so big game for them. That was a lot of fun. Glad you had a good time. All right, I think that's going to be the end of the show. We'll catch you all next time. Thanks.